Hello, welcome back to the channel. So while we always get, brand new characters every planet, there are a decent amount of characters that aren't playable, but really feel like they should be. Now, I have seen a lot of people say, oh, but we need more unique looking NPCs, not every character needs to be playable, which, yeah, we do definitely need more, unique looking NPCs, especially for more, important characters. But I feel like there is a difference between a unique NPC and, playable character level, I think Eligas is a good example of this. He has, a unique design, but he doesn't look like playable level, at least it is, normal form, And they have technically done this before with Sunday, since they changed his whole design to make him playable. And they only really made him playable, once version 2 was over, basically. But for the first character, it is, the most obvious one that people have been asking for so long. It is Skrullum. It is honestly insane that he has not become playable yet. He has been in the game since 1.1, and he has been in a ton of side content. He literally made Diverse Universe. He was a part of the Euphoria story. He has appeared so much, but is still not playable. And I don't even think he would need a updated model or anything. He already looks playable level, and I don't think they would need to change him at all. But whereas Sunday, I feel like his NPC design was a bit basic for a playable character. But my question is why haven't they done it yet? There has to be a reason, and I can only think of two. One is that they think he won't sell, since he would be our first non-human looking character. I'm pretty sure at all, since he is a robot. And I know some people are going to say, oh, but technically we have all these non-human characters in the lore. But they still look human, you know what I mean, right? But with how much people are asking for him, there is no way people wouldn't want him, especially if he was really strong kit-wise. Or two, they just don't really know what to do with him in terms of story, which I think is the more likely option, since they have been trying to make every character have a main focus in the story at some point, basically ever since 2.6, I would say, or even before that in 2.5, 2.4. Basically trying to make every character feel important in some way. I mean, each patch of Euphorius was focusing on each of the new characters in some way, which I'm pretty sure is also to try and pull them more, but still. And maybe it is just me, but I feel like Skrullum doesn't really feel like a main character that would have, big character moments or huge backstory or anything like that, right? I mean, he might have lore, but he doesn't feel like you have sort of emotional backstory like a bunch of other characters have. He feels more like a side character that helps with the narrative, Now, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I think that might be one of the reasons why Hoyo aren't really sure when to introduce him, Now, I'm sure, they could come up with something, and with them coming back in Euphorius, and them seemingly bringing back, past characters for version 4, maybe he will be playable then, but I honestly kind of doubt it, because they just seem to not want to do it. He really feels like the Baiju of this game, where he has been in the game since the beginning, but the devs refuse to make him playable, and he will probably just randomly get dropped at some point for just no reason. Now, this Death's character is someone who I am honestly surprised how many people I have seen ask for him to be playable, that being Rekka. I say I am surprised because it was only in a story that, even if I didn't mind it that much, I know a lot of people really didn't like, and has not appeared at all in the story since then, which, to be fair, would have been a little bit weird if he appeared in Euphorius, but still, it is just kind of weird to introduce a character and then just do nothing with them, which, I mean, technically wouldn't be the first time they've done this kind of thing, but still. But in terms of, actual model and design, he does look like playable character level, he's got a bunch of stuff about him, he's even got the little frog dude with him. I feel like there's a lot of interesting stuff you could do with him, especially since we don't know that much actually about him. Most of what we learned in that quest was mainly just about Rappa, so introducing him could be a way to expand the Memo Keepers, especially since we've been getting more stuff with Black Swan. I have seen some people say that Rekka could be a 4-star, but I will be honest, if they make any pre-established character that people have been waiting for a 4-star, I think people would riot, honestly. With brand new characters, it isn't as bad since people don't have as much attachment to them and aren't anticipating them as much, maybe from leaks or something, but they haven't appeared in the game before, or any sort of marketing material or anything. But especially if they made someone like Skrullum a 4-star after all this time, I think people would be very pissed. Honestly. To be honest, I feel like they just are. It just makes sense for them to be 5-star level because of what they are in the world, you know? But I think the thing that makes me think they will probably be playable at some point is the fact that they are the only characters on light cones that have not become playable yet. And Toyo have been known to use light cone future characters with, you know, like they did with Topaz and Aventurine. So they will probably be playable at some point. It is more of just a question of when rather than if, because especially if they keep doing these more like big stories, it might be harder to just introduce more pre-established characters to them, you know? Now these last characters, I'm gonna put just kind of all together since they are a part of the same group, that being the Annihilation Gang. With Dahlia being confirmed playable, I am sure the others will probably follow suit as well. I mean, it seems pretty obviously. Why would you introduce one of them and not do the rest of them? That would just be kind of weird if she was the only one. Now, I don't know if this misconception is still around, but like, they're not dead. I don't know why everyone still says that they're not dead. Like, the only one who died was Duke Inferno. They literally show that in the story. Now, like, I don't know, maybe they will just completely reverse that, and then in the new story that they do, they'll be like, oh, actually, the rest of them are dead, but it's only her that's alive, but I don't know, we'll have to see. But I can understand the confusion, since it always felt kind of weird to have, like, a whole trailer for them, and then they just basically end up doing nothing, which just kind of leads me to believe even more that there was a lot they wanted to do with Pentaconi, but just didn't have the time for it, which is why Pentaconi kind of felt a bit rushed. But there is no way they won't be playable at some point with Dahlia showing that they can. Like, do you know how much money they would make if Katarina became playable? There is no way they would miss out on an opportunity like that. Come on. Like, overall, I do think there is some importance to having, like, reoccurring NPCs be interesting and, like, well-designed. But I feel like these kind of characters are, like, above that level, you know? There's, like, good-looking for an NPC, and then there's, like, actual character level, you know? And the only reason they aren't in the game yet, I think, is just because of the story. Like, the story basically dictates the whole game, kind of. Like, it dictates what content we get, it dictates, like, what characters we get and that kind of thing. It dictates the paths, because every new character is a big part of the story in some way, which, to be honest, I feel like sometimes is a bit more of a detriment than anything else. Since having characters play a bit, like, smaller roles just makes the world as a whole feel bigger, instead of everything needing to have, like, a huge moment behind it. But I do think it would be kind of a shame, at least for, like, Skrullum and Rekka, to just make these whole models and have these characters and then just not do anything with them, since there is no way they don't know how much people want them. I mean, Skrullum shows up consistently. Like, they must know, but I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what they decide to do with them. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.